live.
There's your dinner music. There is, in fact, people playing music. Damn rich people making you feel poor.
How dare
Still that tension. You don't know what the fucking. You don't know what the Lions Guard and the Chevalier are gonna do at any given time.
That is why Beatrice is minding her own business.
Well, they're constantly staring at each other.
And Fiona's minding his P's and Q's.
Yeah, it'll loop. Not the loop. I thought it would.
Did you
Yeah.
forget how to make it loop?
No, it loops.
Oh, okay. So it just has like one of those awkward pauses.
I got a bunch of stuff. Like, you good? Oh, right. I said I'd let you hear some of the in-game music when Ivy got back. Real quick, just listen to this. It gets better.
And then the Halo theme starts.
Just wait. Yeah. There you go. That's all you're getting. So that could be playing at some point. Because my OCD demands I have this at 5, so there we go. Okay, make sure I got nothing that can stab me when I go to shift. All right, we're good. Shifting
Has
in my
that happened
seat.
before?
I've had a knife in my pocket that stabbed me. Yes.
Oh.
That's all right. Dinner goes swimmingly, actually. Surprisingly, no problem.
This is good.
Oh, that is until you know, who's first? I get to roll the dice and see who gets to see them first. Bum, ba, 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 bum. Ooh, kidding. That'll be Beatrice first.
Beatrice,
Yeah.
what does Beatrice see with her special eyes?
On stage. You're taking the Urbits to Edingard.
Ermiker.
What?
You're taking the Urbits to Isengard. Let's see if I can remember how to do this.
Man flesh.
What? Okay, how do I work this? Let me see. Where is my favorite thing? Control Z. Ah, I still remember that.
What is Control E?
It is undo.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Ah! Thank God I remember so much of this. Like, seriously Christ. Alright, I can't do this. Don't say it. I gotta spend some time fucking with my computer's program because it's so much different than the program I use on my phone for fiddling with stuff to hide things from you guys. So, alright. But somewhere in here, he says while violently scrolling through things. Have you ever angrily scrolled through something? No? Well, too bad. That's what I'm doing currently.
I have.
There we go. Okay, I'll just save that there. But it's going to be the Beatriz who gets a tap on the shoulder first from what looks like one of the Lion's Guard. And they whisper something in their ear. And what they hear is, can you come with me?
Well, Beatrice, once she gets the message, she's going to get up and follow the person and tap her on the shoulder and ask her to follow him, of course.
Yes. The hell?
What?
It sounds like a squeaky door.
That was not. That was a child.
Oh, no, that sounds like a child making weird ass noises.
It's a baby orca.
It's a 4-year-old
Kill
that's
it!
about to get punted.
Kill it before it kills a seal. Alright. I'm gonna let that background music keep looping. Fuck you. Dun, dun, dun,
It's
dun,
good
dun.
music.
Yes. This is, I believe this one's. I think this one's public domain too. I don't know if this one's Darren. Most of the stuff I use is like Darren Curtis or I think Aaron Sakurama or something. Anyways, you can find them all on Chuzik. Beatrice just being the good and following. Nothing eventful happens in a walk along the way. Aside from, people doing what people do best and staring. Desperately avoiding eye contact with the Lion Guard when they look. But it doesn't take long for the Beatrice to be led down the hills and to another room, which looks like it's definitely not a room somebody stays in more than a few minutes at a time. You're guessing. It's pretty simple. It's just got a nice table and some seating, and there's currently it looks like 2 people in there. One of whom is covered up, and the other of whom is the interesting gentleman that was brought to the trial. And it doesn't take long for the Chancellor to make his way in behind you with a little scoot, and in tow follows another 2 of the Lion's Guards. Hello. Why don't you have a seat right here?
And Beatrice will take a seat.
Thank you. Ah, yes. Beatrice is now sitting, possibly across from the gentleman known as Cocobeel, who seems relatively quiet, and this hooded individual who also looks like a member of the church, though they don't have interesting armor like this person. They have pretty much predominantly cloth and some sort of circlet around their head with that same pinpointed star of theirs.
Didn't steal it.
They let's see, their robes are a caramel and apparently khaki with some white. Okay, might have to alter that so it doesn't drive me insane, but that's the dice decided.
Some very mellow colors.
Their colors are very mellow, yes, and they just give a polite smile while sitting there in that position.
And Beatrice is just a little bit confused, wondering why she's sitting in this room.
And thus the eye drops are administered.
Eye drops. Here we go. Question time.
All right. Thank you for coming, Beatrice. I'm afraid that the Lions God's going to have to drag one of you away from dinner. But that is most. Now, Beatrice.
Yeah.
You are just stating your name here correctly, so Beatrice Hiram Song. Yeah.
That is correct.
And you. Hmm. And there's comes a little inquisitive growl out of the member of the technically guilty party. You would happen to be.
Shadow, can you mute yourself?
Yeah, sorry.
Just a lot of background noise making it hard to hear.
You would be Cocobeel, then Elsbar. Understandably. Knowledge, yes. You? Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find the correct spelling again. Yeah, I don't want to accidentally type something incorrectly. That'll drive me insane.
Type it phonetically. Make everyone upset.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how it's spelled, that's how it's spoken.
I mean, as much as I hate that, it's technically not wrong. You know? Alright.
Phonetic spelling is incredibly useful, especially for a language like English, where you have words like Bologna, where it's like 20 letters, and then phonetically it's like 5.
Alright. So, I remembered how everything's spelled. Alright. And you. He is now speaking to the gentleman in the robes. At least I think it's a gentleman. Can't quite tell. You are correctly so. But Neil, the High Exarch of the excuse me, Arishka sect of the Church of Omnis. As true as the sun doth shine, yes, I am. Goody, 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 goody for me. Let's go ahead and put that on. One. Yum. Alright. I'm leaving it going. Now, I've brought you all here so I can just inform you of these two. Because these two, Beatrice, are currently making a claim that Kokabio never once had anything to do with the assault of your party. That the person in question you are speaking of has no affiliation with the Winkjet. And Nathaniel is here because of the fact that, well, we contacted them on good faith. They have no, at least to our knowledge, no correlation whatsoever or involvement with the Wing of Judgment. Therefore, 100% be unbiased because they are the generous God's teachings as a high exarch, and next to the three mothers and the father, there's not really anyone else in the whole church that can be considered trustworthy. How does that make you feel? Or,
B.
no, they even claim it's a fabrication of the guild because of an old feud that the guild has. That this whole thing was possibly staged to justify a conflict between the church and the guild. Well, technically, Pokeball. Nathaniel doesn't claim it. They've not made any claimant yet. We've simply been here as an independent observer to this exchange and have answered relevant questions.
And so Beatrice is going to nod, seeming to understand.
I think the reason this is interesting is they, again, Pokeball, says that he heard that a member that is thus associated with the church was absconded. That word is so catchy. I think of scone. That he was attacked by members of the guild, leaving him grievously wounded.
And who was this individual?
Feel? This individual, quite simply, a, might I mention, man of noble birth and kind heart. associated with the child. Now, you often know who he is. That doesn't change the fact that he is who he is. I am not. If one day circumstance or hope, his name is Elias Van Costa.
And so I'm not sure if I know that character at all. So
You do not, but you do not know. I'm just gonna say that right now. You don't. Well, I mean, you do, but you don't. You don't know that name.
well, the name does not seem familiar to me.
Hmm. Well, just so happened I have taken the liberty ensuring there can be some consistency. So I have access to this person. So fear not. And they'll give a gesture to one of the lion's guards who will leave through a door in the back of the room, and then they will return with somebody. And when they do step into purview, you get like this little trigger in your brain. This is that same dark skinned gentleman who had left with your abuser, though, currently now wearing the fashion statement of ornate eye patch over their eye. Or their right eye, I should say.
So she kind of vaguely recognizes him as Crucia's companion.
He does vaguely recognize. It's one of those. I know you, but
So I guess at this point she's kind of squinting at him, trying to figure out where she recognizes him from. You look familiar. I'm not sure if I can tell where from, though.
you are the Spawn Master. I am. Easy. Claim is that the adventurers of the earth. Well, that is right. Attacked you, beat you up, and one of them stripped you of your right eye, violently, because you. Oh, there's noise.
I am here. I'm just muted because more hammering is beginning.
That's okay. And is this one of the people that attacked? Take your time to answer. I promise I'll get what I want.
Is he asking her or him?
Him. Don't you worry. Or do worry. I was a good idea to worry. Paranoia keeps you alive. I try to make the music as faint as possible, by the way, because it's like, through the wall and dinner's still going on. No. I have no idea whom they are, but I do know that someone associated with the guild has problems of mine. And you were in no way associated with an attack with a mysterious individual, a woman, and he'll lift that same sketch to this gentleman who was supposedly part of the Wing of Death, who attacked these young things. Oh. Hmm. But if we were to bring in those responsible, surely you could identify them? Well then. And they're 100% under no circumstance any of you now are lying to me. This whole room is telling the truth. And no one's lying.
I'm being honest.
I know I've hardly said a word. You can see the the chancellor just looking back and forth. And it's like there's this air in the room right now of those three know he knows the truth, and you know he knows the truth, but nobody will say it. So you can feel the tension just building with every second he's silent while just staring. And just the sounds of the Lion's Guard moving around, you can tell is making things a little more uneasy.
Yeah, Beatrice, if she can't remember exactly where he's from, then it's gonna bug her a little bit. But if she did know exactly where he was from, she would not be a happy camper.
Well, Petrimus, would you please escort Beatrice back and bring me the Leonis?
Oh.
This one Lion's Guard will very politely pull Beatrice's chair out and gesture for them to come along.
She'll follow him politely. So would God, this all this background noise is driving me crazy. Would any roles or anything determine whether or not she'd be able to figure it out at some point, or would that just be just too far above her?
It's gonna take a minute, but she's by just if she thinks about it, she will remember it. Just
So
give it
basically, in time she'll remember it, but not at the moment.
not at the moment, but it's going to plague her, and that's what I want.
Okay.
I want to plague. Beatrice is brought back to the table, and Fionn is borrowed.
Theon will follow the.
Not just the one. Just some food.
He will follow the ones that brought him aside.
You know, it's a shit. I'm gonna smack you for completely and
What?
totally having your head up your ass sometimes.
You.
I said he's a Lion's Guard. He's not just a dude.
Yes, I know he's a Lion's Guard, but what? He's not gonna say no.
Jesus, he's so thick in the brain. It hurts. All right, it's fine. or hit it. Okay. Yon eventually is brought into this same room with these people and asks for that same. Why don't you have a seat right here?
Fionn will take a seat.
Speak. You are correctly Fionn Lanayasane.
Aye, that's me.
Wonderful. And a full confirmation on you. Reveal. Elias. And Stephanie here. So Fionn, the interesting thing is that this gentleman and this gentleman, and they were sitting and one standing, have made interesting claims that not only was the Wing of Judgment in no way associated with your attack, but also that the whole matter was a staged event to give justification for some sort of attack onto the church because of an ancient blood feud of some kind between the two of you as independent organizations. And Elias here even claims that he himself was unlawfully attacked by adventurers just because he was a member of the church of the Wing of Justice, associating with none of the people responsible for your incident, and yet he was subjected to such, as he put it, I believe, indescribable misery when his eye was removed from his head in conflict that could have very much ended with his untimely demise. An extremely melodramatic way to describe things, but I suppose as long as one wants to get their message across, making a theater of it would be a good way.
Well, I thought we didn't know about the church and all this until we were attacked by whoever. So I don't really see why someone would go out of their way to go after someone from the church or whatever.
Yes. But the issue is, since you're clearly letting this slide over your head, not that immediately. It's not that. That can be a problem. But you're not involved in his attack. At least I don't believe you are, because he's yet to make some sort of grandiose statement about it and interrupt me. But it's that Thad Cockabiel here says all of your claims that you spoke as truth were lies. Now, you see the issue here is that in Ilmar we take justice quite seriously, and as Chancellor of the Ministry of Law, Order, and Punishment, I have to inform you that something such as lying during truthful testimony is tantamount, in some cases, to treason against the crown, because it is perjury of the law, of justice, and of information. It's a willingness to be complicit in a crime. Now, your friend, she seems to have grasped the situation there. That's why I let her go on her way. But you, You see the issue here.
I do. And everything I have told was the truth. I may be many things, but a liar isn't one of them.
Well, I certainly am not lying about not being involved with whatever fiasco was dug up by infinite chaos.
Would Fionn remember that mob took one of the assailants' eyes when they
I
were
mean, he
fighting?
would. He'd vaguely remember something about an injury inflicted.
I wasn't conscious for when that happened, but I do remember.
But Mob and Fionn were not in the same area.
Yeah, I know. He just heard about it through hearsay about after the fact.
Okay.
I do remember that another member of the party had managed to injure one of the assailants. I don't remember what the injury was or anything.
Mhm.
But last thing I remember was having my face slammed into the ground by that woman Crucia.
Ah, yes, Kusha. Such an issue she's turning out to be as part of this puzzle. The mysterious bitch that doesn't exist, supposedly. According to them. But then, that does exist according to you. Several of you. If it was a numbers game, I would believe you. It would make my job easy. But the truth, sadly, cannot be found if, or really even called the truth. If mobs decide it is, just because that's what they want, that's not how the truth works. This is why I'm in such an interesting predicament. Fuchsia, supposedly. And it was associated with the wing of judgment, to the best of her knowledge. And then there's the whole issue with them saying what you did. Lie. They did. Supposedly, allegedly did. To you. That they never did was a lie. So what you're saying is a lie, and it's all a lie. That they're not lying and that you're lying, but you're saying that you're truthful, therefore, by you saying that you're honest, they're lying. And we're not even getting into the topic of the possible assault of a noble carried out by members of the guild that obviously thus far have not been you. And that's not even to mention the matter of the materials lifted, spirited away, and what it entails, and the testament of a mage lord on top of all that. I get to have fun. So we're just at this impasse. But that is very interesting. Injury. You say that someone already injured one of the attackers. Whom injured one of the attackers?
Well, it was Mob before he got his head split open with some kind of fancy blade that did something to his head.
Right, I remember that. I had that conversation with that young gentleman. He explained a lot of things, and I could sense in him an uncertainty, but not an uncertainty, liar, an uncertainty of someone who really doesn't know the truth about the matter because it was taken, buried. But they definitely didn't seem. But under the surface, you never know. Now, I'm just going to ask this: is everyone in this room this very moment, telling the truth, so swear they, to whomever or whatever they choose to idolize.
That's weird.
Well, I'll just take the size of you two. Mission. Hermes, you may take him. Bring me. Bring me the daughter of the mountain. We'll have that.
Being dismissed, Phelan would stand up and give all of them a nod before he leaves.
They intentionally chose to do this in this room that is so small, there's less than 10 feet between everyone when they're sitting in their respective spots. Because cramped spaces make people more nervous.
Yeah.
Cramped spaces in a room with 3 guards makes them even more nervous.
3 heavily armed and armored guards at that.
Let's go. Swimmingly as it can. There was no arresting. She didn't get arrested for her behavior. That's good. I was worried about that.
As was I.
I can't be questioned about this because they wouldn't have saw that information. Do anything with it. I don't want to skip over it because I'm gonna dress it little by little. Whole thing. I hate not being able to progress things properly. I suppose I'll have to. Okay. Gotta get a hold of him. I'd like him to come in here and join, and that way he can do his part. But I guess I'll have to postpone that and think of something to keep you occupied.
Great.
All right. Let me see. Pause that. Stop. There we go. There we go. That's the first. Ow. Noro could be a random teacher. Bird not being here is kind of stalling things. Kind of fucking putting it to where I can't press it properly. I don't know if I could like groan aloud enough to convey. That's what I have to do though. Royal groaning, maybe even just. Oh. I don't know. If you add royal onto the end of anything, like at the beginning, it makes it better. Therefore, it's royal. Therefore, it's fancy. No, that's not a text message. No, it's a fucking app sending me a push notification despite having it disabled. Guess somebody's getting uninstalled. I guess while they're being talked to, the NPCs are being talked to one by one. Guess the rest of you would know how dinner is. Dinner was kind of early. Interesting, but as it does draw into night, you do notice that people start kind of leaving the dining hall a lot earlier than you might expect, and a lot more eagerly. And it doesn't take long for you to figure out why. It's because it is still celebrating, kind of what is one of their, national holidays and all that. And they're only 3 days into the week-long celebration, and since it's drawing nighttime, they're all heading out to, go get ready to start partying in their own way. The nobles probably won't do it nearly as much as other people, but
And lots of partying nonetheless.
right. So got Kevin can stay here with Noro. Well, actually, no. Noro might have to also. Well, I think Noro stay here and watch him. Yeah, he'll stay here and watch his friend and trust that between Mons, or maybe not Mons, but between Faramia's dad and Marianne, there might be enough maturity alongside Yon to keep the children in check.
Maybe.
But, since you spent all your time partying inside the guild hall, none of you have any clue what's going on outside. Oh, let me see if I got the right music. I had music prepared for this. I want to make sure it's the right one and not the one that sounds like it should be played in either a funeral or a really interesting whorehouse.
Okay, now I need to hear that.
Oh, we're going back to that again, are we? Okay.
Here we go. But it sounds right from the beginning. But this is you're all being volunteered
Oh no!
to come along with Mons and Marianne as they take Bonnie, and Farami and her parents as they take her to go enjoy the Independence Festival. Because while you've all been in here dealing with, all this adult stuff, outside, all throughout the streets, they've been clearing all of the unnecessary everythings and setting up what is the night market and the night circus. This is good stuff. That's good music. Fuck you.
It is good music.
I like it.
Yes, it is very good music. I like it. In between the hammering.
Ah, the night market. It's got all kinds of stuff that you need during a celebration. And then the night circus is what it sounds like. It's a display of arts and exoticness, and there's games and interesting little rides set up throughout here and there. And this music is just coming from a stage somewhere, and that's how loud it is. Because they're probably playing magical instruments that want to break your ears.
Wow. This is all very nice.
Ah. Loop, baby! Yeah, loop. Yeah! It's automatic. Hell yeah.
It's automatic.
Yep.
So, what's going on out here exactly?
There's an independence celebration going on outside, and we're getting dragged along.
Yeah.
Oh,
This Mons. Behold! As he casts open the doors for like the 8th time after all the other people. And from your little elevated perch up here at the palace, you can see over the walls at the city with the lights having been strung up all along the overworkings of the city. And even the literal airships have lights on them for celebration. But it's like a sea of brilliant lights colored with the traditional gold and crimson that is reminiscent of the kingdom. Or technically, this is the empire, but it's also as a kingdom, but now it's an empire. That's the whole political sphere that we don't have to get into. Or we could, Somebody will explain it to you, I'm sure, if you just go ask. There's always that one guy that has to tell you everything about the world.
The history buff.
Yep.
Just look
But-
for somebody saying, actually.
Actually.
Right?
Actually.
Yeah. But it is worth noting that you can see it's kind of magical how every building seems to be participating. Every street has something. And you can see how large and vibrant the city.
Yes, the sin.
Filling the streets. And you get the feeling that no matter how long you do this, you could spend the rest of the week participating in this night's festival, and you still would not have seen or done everything here.
Neat.
Not to mention,
Yeah,
Not
not a
to mention-
peanut. You'd have to be able to explore the whole city, and that's not likely to happen in just a week.
Well,
technically, you've only got 4 days left.
not unless you're someone like Mikhail, who can just be like, oh, that was fun, goes back in time, next stall!
That's
Beyond.
that would
Whoa.
not Mikhail, but what's his name?
Leonard,
Leonard.
yeah. God, I don't know why those two get mixed up in my brain.
Well, Fiona is certainly enjoying herself, taking in the sights and everything. Sticking with everybody, of course. But she
Naiba is
really
coming along
doesn't get
too.
a lot of chances to do stuff like this. So she's taking it in while she can.
You
Fiona
can
is
actually
awestruck.
overhear a small conversation as you're walking between a noble and another noble. Ilvermont is a western continent. Why did they have apparent music? That's because the celebration. It's about the independence from the Vampire, but also because there was some in the upper echelons of their empire who helped free humans in the continent from the slavery of the empire. And the music was made in collaboration. It's a celebration. Oh. That's why it's always been a hymn of their. Good to know. I wish I could cut that little bit out and just make it one file.
Nah,
I
just
could probably do that.
explain it as a pause for those that died for independence.
There you go.
Or a pause for breath or something.
Nah, if you don't know band members like I do, they don't need to breathe. Breathing is for
What
weaklings.
is breathing?
They
You
can
don't breathe in band.
band members
Well-
can power walk backwards for 5 miles in perfect rhythm with everyone else while using every last gulp of breath to blow on a brass chunk of metal that weighs 50 pounds as hard as they can.
But it is worth noting that one of the instruments being played, because you can hear a similar lighter version of the tune being played on a singular instrument. It is a very much a wind instrument that looks like it has sort of a crescent shape to it, and is played sort of like a harmonica or a flute, where you not a flute, but whatever that one wind instrument is, where it's slid as you blow with different pressure.
Slide
To
whistle?
force wind. This like a slide whistle. Yeah,
What's it called? A pan flute?
yeah, it's sort of like that.
So it's like
Where
a slide harmonica?
no, it's kind of like it's a crescent
It's like
wind
those
instrument.
flutes with multiple little tubes to make the
Yeah,
different notes.
Ah, cool.
and that's how they're playing the wind instrument part of this. Is they're sliding it fairly quickly across their lips while adjusting how hard they're pushing their air through their lips to make the sound through the reeds. And the percussion is quite interesting. They are walking around with a large drum that they're wearing, kind of just like a big old chess piece, but it's got again this unique shape of it as a concave like series, like it's like two U's, and they're slamming their hands into it to make those deep, bassy booms that you're hearing. Like that right there. And the a little stick instrument is literally just kind of that. It's another stick, and it has a little piece attached to it that is basically a carved out piece of ceramic with a small strip of leather on the back for impact, and they slam it at the right times, and it makes that sharp clack. You don't even want to look and try and figure out how to work that string instrument, though. The best way I can describe that is it's like a waist worn harp slash guitar. It's like a washboard guitar that they wear about their waist as they walk and play.
That's kind of cool. Also, there happens to be construction going on in the background somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. They just now got things started to get fully set up, so there's still stuff being put together. And that one right there, you hear that long, windy instrument? That is kind of cool. That is a fucking... Think of an accordion that is worn on the back, and they blow into a tube that they push down or pull up to change its compression.
Oh.
I don't know why my brain thought these were cool-looking instruments that are completely useless, but they work.
And they are cool.
Be right back.
Okay.
There are already people, possibly drunk or possibly sober, who are just casually dancing as they walk through the streets, apparently. Mons is doing a sway. Smashing things. It'd be dangerous if he started dancing around, smacks into something and crushes it. Oh no! My cabbages!
My cabbages!
Oh god.
So, are they walking through the streets now?
Yes, currently they're with Mons, who's leading them towards what looks like some of the game.
There's gems.
Games.
Gummies!
Gagami is from Ichika Greg.
What? Oh, by the way, it's worth noting that percussion instrument, it takes a big person to carry that, because it's like they are U-shaped, but they're not small, it's wide. Like,
Oh.
it's like a 40-inch length of instrument.
Wide load.
That's how it gets those deep, bassy. And when they're smacking, it's not like dainty smacks. They're swinging their arms and striking it with what looks like padded gloves.
So they're just slapping it like a fat ass.
Basically. They're having a good time while doing it, though, because it's making a good song with them.
I would also enjoy playing that instrument.
As would I. Just get to slap something.
If you oh wait, at what point does a drum become a trampoline? Because I just had the thought of, like, children bouncing on a drum to make music.
The little pitter patter that you hear every now and then, that's just another one of the band members reaching over and giving a little pump to the lip. It's really like a whole ensemble that requires everyone to be just together. It's almost like they designed the music piece to, express the cohesiveness and the unity that fighting one's war against an enemy like that can bring. You pass by what looks like a little open field theater that's currently giving some sort of show. Maybe you'll stop by that one. Right now, Lamont seems interesting to. He seems to have been interested in bringing you to the little games. And the one that he stops on that he thinks would be good for you is some sort of ring toss.
Somehow I knew it was
Ooh.
going to be a ring toss. Just magically.
So,
Okay, this
what are
is
the
a
prizes?
combination I did not realize would be so good. Grape and peach.
Yes, artificial grape and peach flavors do taste good together. Because they do not taste like their counterparts whatsoever. But, what are the prizes?
See? Aha! Bang! Look at that. Wanna play?
I wanna know
Dion
what the
does.
prizes are. I've asked like 4 times. I don't know if my internet cut out.
It cut out. Okay.
Ah, great.
Prizes. Quite simple. Right
It's
here.
a sword!
You've got a variety. We have little small puzzle boxes, which have treats of some kind. I don't know, or gifts. Those are simple. Small little hand-woven stitched prize toys, as I feel like those are mandatory, especially these cute little stuffed wildebeest. I want one. And
Oh,
then we have some donated accessories such as these, and they'll hold up authentic gold and silver pieces of jewelry, some of which have legitimate gemstones in them.
Oh shit.
Courtesy of some of the jewelers.
ooh.
And the Mercantile Association donated a majority of our goods this year in celebration and good faith.
Damn, they're just giving these things away at like simple events like the ring toss? Holy fuck.
I mean, that shows you how patriotic this nation is.
Do they have earrings?
They do. They have earrings, necklaces, bracelets, and anklets.
He
And then the
wants
grand
earrings.
prize, this. And they'll gesture to what looks like a large box sitting at the top shelf. A mystery weapon.
It's a loot box!
Some kind that was crafted, supposedly.
And
Ah.
what was it?
Well, it's a mystery weapon of some kind is the grand prize here. Supposed to have been crafted. While of not supreme quality, I'm sure, by the Royal Forge Master. The weapon at all the games. Or a mystery piece of gear. The Royal Forge Master said to have made 100 of them.
Alright. What skill are we rolling for here?
Dark, like, I want it!
It's as soon as you introduce fucking loot box, I'm like, what? Gambling?
Fionn is interested too, but Fionn's more interested in the nice pair of earrings he sees.
I mean, yeah, as soon as
Oh.
we win any prize, Naibai will be happy and want to move on to the next one, because, like, there's, as you said, lots to do and little time.
Not by one, because it cut out.
Naibai what?
As soon as Naibai wins any prize, they'll be happy and want to move on to the next game. There's lots to do in little time.
Okay. Dark. One more
Naibai
time,
will want
please.
Naibai will want to move on to the next game because there's not much to do in little time.
Ah! Yes. Ah!
I heard it. Alright. Well, you're going to be rolling dexterity. But it depends on which prize
Oh.
tier you're going for. The small ones, the little stuffed pictures, the jewelry, or the grand prize.
Well...
Here's another question. How much?
Ah,
How
That's
much
simple.
does it cost to enter?
10 silver. And you get 5 rings.
Ooh. Well, Beatrice is certainly interested, and you might give a try as well, just for fun. Yone's not super high on dexterity, but it's just for fun.
Alright,
Fionn
Naibai.
is gonna slap.
Go ahead.
Fionn is gonna put down a gold.
Naibai will also put down a gold and ask for change.
Fionn doesn't want change.
They will give you your change accordingly.
I need to know how much that is.
10 silver, isn't it? 10 silver
Yeah.
change. Because each coin is worth 20 of the one below it.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Just know that 1 gold is 20 silver. So if it's 10 silver to enter, you're getting 10 silver back.
Okay.
We've explained this before.
I know, but we've also changed the values before, too.
Yeah.
I have 10 silver now. Got it.
Anyway. I During that pause of the music, though, there is always like a little, some sort of like gesture that everyone makes, and then it goes back to being
Which
happy.
is
You like to know?
I would.
Too bad.
Everyone points at the sky with their thumb extended, like in Fairy Tale.
I mean, it's realistically all they do is the gesture they make is they'll kind of half curl their left hand into a fist, and they'll bring it up and they'll set it in the palm of their right hand, and they'll like, while their hands are out in front of them, and they'll close it up and do like a little curl towards their forehead, and then let go. And not like just half-assed, like they'll let go in sort of like a flourish of, once the back of their left palm touches their forehead, they'll kind of like let go with like their hand just, right hand falling and left hand going nyah off to the side.
I imagine many smacks to the face occur with this gesture.
It's like,
People who haven't done it before usually slap the hell out of themselves because they do it too fast. It's not supposed to. You're supposed to do it very calmly, just.
But
Well-
Theon is going to let the ladies go first.
Alright, well, Naiba is gonna go for the grand prize, and we're gonna see what the roll result here is. It's dexterity.
Yeah.
Is it just a flat roll, or do we add modifiers?
It's the dexterity.
Yeah, and you're allowed to add your modifiers.
Alright.
You just hear the
Theon,
distance.
stop shaking the table!
Just in the distance, just. Oh yeah! I'm doing as fast as I can! It's just me building this thing!
Okay, so 95 plus 350.
What are you going for? Let me guess, the grand prize?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, you gotta get all 5 rings at the very top little peg, which is a single peg directly in the center of the whole construction, and it's about 8 feet up.
Alright.
Quite the challenge.
Well, there's a chance the ring
it
could
is.
land on any of the other pegs on the way down, so why not go for it?
True.
Yes, exactly.
So what's your overall roll?
Gee, now I gotta do math. It's 95 plus 3.
Alright, so that's one you got. We'll just say that.
Okay. Click. Throw. 97 this time.
Plus 250?
Yep.
Let me double check here.
It's higher than my last one. What are you checking?
Gotta know exactly what it is. Ah, that one kind of dinked off the edge of it and rolled down and stuck on one of the ones below it.
What?
Ah.
Oh.
But I roll better.
Even over there making village noises.
Crafty con man noises. Okay.
There's
Well,
literally no way that this could be rigged.
they're gonna keep
It's-
going for it. Like, they'll eventually get a different prize, so.
Second roll, or third roll, technically.
Third. 57.
Ah, that's 2 you get onto the top one.
But. Okay.
Each roll is for 1 ring toss.
The next one is 97 again, apparently. Oh no, I world broke myself.
That's 3 that you managed to get on the top, but you're not. You already know you're not getting the grand prize because all 5 of the rings you get have to get on the very top peg. But that's 3 out of 4 you've thrown that have made it up there.
Alright. Another one. A 53. I'm getting nothing below a 50 today.
That one kind of dinks off the side of the very top one and lands on one right there on the little place. So you've got. So what basically what it is you've got
Great timing.
3 below that and 4 below that. You've got 3 on the very top one, 1 on the 1 on the row with 2, and now you've got 1 on the row with 3 pegs.
Alright, well, they're gonna hand over another 10 silver and keep going if it still counts. If it's explained that it doesn't, I guess they'll try for a smaller price.
Well, when you get your 5th one, they'll explain that you could have anything, and they'll put their hand on the jewelry shelf from here down.
Alright, Naibai will inquire if they got more rings, if it would continue to count towards the larger prize, or if they only get the 5.
You can see, like, their brain. There's the part of them that's doing this for the festival that wants to say, it's sorry. But there's a part of them that's a good person who's like, well.
I would think that they would have to be all in the same run of ring tosses, right?
I mean,
Nope,
yeah.
But they're like, that's their moral confliction. But they will inevitably say, no. It has to be 5 in a row with none of them landing on any other peg.
Naibai will nod graciously. And, So you said from the jewelry down, does that include the jewelry or no?
Yeah.
Okay. That jewelry could probably fetch a good price. It could get turned into weapons and stuff. What kind of stuff we got here? Yeah, enchantments too. None of our gear's magic. Well, okay, some of our gear is magic.
We've got scratch a handful of the necklaces and set them down. We've got precious necklaces, 3 of pure silver, 3 of gold, 1 which is pure gold. We have 2 golden bracelets. We have 5 silver bracelets. We have 1 cerulean bracelet. We have 4 silver anklets, a silver anklet, a white gold anklet.
Oh.
And then we have 1 pair of Crimsonite earrings.
You said one of those was a Silurian?
Cerulean, yes.
White gold. Crimsonite?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna look these up real quick, because I'm not familiar with Cerulean or Crimson.
Cerulean and Crimsonite you won't really be able to find in the real world.
Oh, okay. Describeth
Oh, that's a pretty
them.
blue. Here, dark. Hold on.
Eh?
Hold on.
Where you're ehing at.
Here, check your telegram. That's a cerulean blue that I found.
Oh, okay. And that's a metal?
And in this world it is.
Well, in this world, anything could be a metal. Ah, yes, this is honey steel. Uh, alright. I'm gonna say Nabai
What do
likes
you?
blue because it reminds them of spending days watching the clouds in the plains. So they're gonna pick up the Silurian, what was it, bracelet?
Yeah.
Okay, someone else can go now.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm not sure what kind of ballpark the challenge is for the grand prize, so I don't know if Yon could even get near that.
It's at least 400.
But yeah, I kind of figured it was something like that. But Yon is definitely worth going. She thinks it's worth trying to get the lesser ones, like the jewelry.
By
So
the way,
she's
just so you know, since I didn't get a chance to explain, and you asked, in this world, cerulean is considered to be one of the rarest metals. It's also one of the most durable because it is a metal that is said when it grows, it starts as a what they think is a blank iron slate and grows within meters of torrential lines, imbuing it with untold elements of magic and ridiculous amounts of durability.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't tell me that, because I just wouldn't have considered any of the other things.
And Crimsonite is an equally rare metal. It's one of those things that you will only see in the wealthiest of individuals' possession because it's a metal named for its naturally blood red color, and it's as beautiful as it is toxic, and as toxic as it is fragile. And they make it into jewelry by safely sealing it with a form of anodization so you can't rub away its protective coating. And even then, you're not actually looking at pure crimsonite color. You're looking at crimsonite usually with a layer of oxygenated iron on the top of it, because that's much safer to have on your skin than pure crimsonite, which can propagate in through your skin and poison you. But it does look like someone was to have cast a blade or a piece of jewelry out of blood, fresh blood with no oxygenation to it. Just so you have an explanation. Now Ivy knows. I wanted to get that off my get that explained before I forgot because I definitely would have.
okie dokie then. So let's see. Let's go with Yon's rolls first. And where's this message? Oh, okay. I see. All right. So yes, the construction is distracting me very much. All right. So Yon's math is going to be fairly easy. She's got a base of 90 dexterity.
Hmm.
Roll. First roll is 76, so it's going to be 166.
Hmm. 166, you say?
Yeah. She's more focused on intelligence than dexterity.
Sadly, our first ring. Well, she wasn't aiming for the top, right?
No, she wasn't aiming for the very top. She was aiming for like just some of the lower ones.
Gotcha. Oh, then she actually managed to land one on the jewelry rung.
Yay! All right, so let's see what the next one is. 34. So her roll is, or her total is 124.
That one sadly manages to catch on the rack with all the stuffed animals.
Okie dokie. Next one is 91, so it's going to be 181.
That one also caught on the stuffed animals one.
Okie dokie. Next is 1, so total of 91.
Also on the stuffed animal one.
Kind of looking like Yon's getting a stuffed animals.
Stuffed Wilkes.
Mhm. There is a stuffed booger.
So grand total of 159.
Hey, that one got on the jewelry shelf.
I have one more, right?
That was 5.
That was 5. Okay, I wasn't sure. I was going back, recalculating. So 2 on there and 3 on the stuffed animals. All right. And I need to alter Yon's thing here so that it calculated the silver you. Boop.
Anything from this shelf down. And they'll pat one of the little stuffed animals and then gesture down to the dozens of little mystery gadgets and gadgets.
Are the gadgets exposed so you can see them, or are they just kind of hidden?
Some of them are like in little puzzle boxes that have prizes in them, but some of them are just little things like little party popper looking stuffs and some little bagged up sets of carved gem dice and many other things.
It looks like fun. What color of gem dice do they happen to have?
They've got 5 bags, 4 of which are of each of a different, where each of the dice in there are all of the same color. Mind you, those 4 bags are different colors. They've got a red, a blue, a green, and a yellow one. And the 5th bag is one with very pretty rainbow dice.
I think we're gonna go for rainbow dice for her.
And these are very interesting die because they are not 6-sided. They have 7, 3, and 9-sided die in this bag. But they will explain that you can have 2 items from this bottom shelf, since it is the lower shelf of what you scored.
All right.
Everybody's the winner. That's the most important thing.
It would help if I could type properly. All right. Jesus Christ. So let's see. What else might happen to be on there? You said like party poppers and gadgets and stuff.
They do have one of those little wind instruments that gentleman was playing, very small. They have, looks like, a nice little wrapped 3-piece set of eating utensils. They have a very pretty little fountain pen. They also have a very pretty quill and inkwell.
Oh, you know what? I think she will like the fountain pen.
And they will take it and also take the little cloth bag it was sitting on and slowly slide this apparently, and that's very pretty. It is a white color. So it's very interesting. It looks like this fountain pen has a very, very polished and translucent layer of acrylic or something over it, and the inside is sort of like a paint that is predominantly a cream color with little specks of blue in it. And they will put it in the bag and give it a little cinch shut with a little the saying that they did a nigh by, you did your best. That's what matters.
All right. I'll have to type out that description a little bit here. My hands are a little bit full of snacks.
Would you? Just so you know,
What's that?
all of this little fair part right here, not like this whole festival is a thing, but like this specific part you're going through, completely pulled out of my ass. My brain just threw it out there as like a time filler since Derek stalled us. Just throwing that out there.
It's okay.
I hope you enjoy it. All right.
Time
But
enjoying
yes,
it.
it's a fountain pen that looks like it's a dipped paint of some kind, and the paint is sort of like a cream, or a like a dark eggshell white with specks of ocean blue in it. Almost like somebody drizzled the blue on top of the white.
Sounds very pretty.
It is gorgeous. And Yon will probably appreciate the most when they take it in hand. It's a perfectly balanced pen.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, she will, and she will like this. Does it have a little case or anything to keep it safe?
They put it in a little a little cloth bag, and it has what looks like stitched in silver thread with the name of the little shop that donated it. And that shop name is Dice Roll. I got a list.
Morning Star pens.
Pen Island.
No, actually, it's just very neatly and very fancy. It's just Twilight calligraphies.
Ooh.
It's a professional pen. That just goes to show you, no matter how big or small, everyone takes this independence celebration seriously. It is worth noting that Mons is kind of standing in the street watching you guys here, and Bonnie and Faraji over there on the other side of the street playing a game.
I see. What would the shape and size of the dice and the pen?
The dice has a stack size of 50, and the stack shape of it, because it can be balled up, is only 1. The pen itself is a 3 with a stack of 1, because it is a unique handcrafted fountain pen.
Okay, so it's a one of a kind, and so the bag of dice they take up 1 slot. They can be stacked 50 times.
Well, no, it can be stacked 50 times. Yes.
Okay.
Just so you could theoretically just jam a bunch of dice in your inventory if you wanted.
Okay,
You could sit down at a table with a book of GURPS in hand and say, alright, we're playing this now.
Just be like,
Hey,
roll for damage.
you know, I think it's appropriate the dice made Yon not win the jewelry, because that's a very Yon item to win, is a one-of-a-kind handcrafted pin.
It is.
Yeah.
It kind of is, really.
Yon is one of the few mage lords, aside from maybe Sebastian, who still handwrites letters.
Yeah, I'm sure she does a lot of handwriting. So I was kind of thinking about the quill for her, but then I'm like, no, she's gonna go for a nice fancy pen.
I mean, that quill was beautiful too because it had a legally sourced, mind you,
Phoenix
blue
feather.
phoenix feather.
Ooh, pretty.
Yep, legally sourced. As in, it came from a blue phoenix that was naturally raised by a handler who donated it after making it, after it perished.
Oh.
It's a phoenix! Oh, it died. What the fuck? It's a phoenix.
I know. I just wanted to put in the whoosh. Oh, it's alive again.
Vulcan's dead! Vulcan lives! Vulcan's dead! Vulcan lives! That's something that I threw in there for the candy cane. That blue phoenix is named Vulcan.
Vulcan lives!
There. That candy cane. That was a little Easter egg in there just for you.
Yeah.
I suppose we're gonna have Beatrice take her turn, or we can have Fiona take his.
No, Fiona was going to let the ladies go first.
Sin is standing there just happily watching.
So Beatrice is going to spend
Because
her
Fiona-
10 silver, and let's see, that's the wrong program. There we go. Going to have 9 left. And then we start rolling.
Poor mob! Oh my god!
Oh no.
What?
Okay. Oh, nothing. Just something. He's not here. He's on another street participating in the festival with Faramia,
Faramia. Okay.
with her parents and her, with her parents and her, and Shizuna, who went over there too.
6. Yeah, both
But
right.
it's just, oh my god, that's amazing! I love Faramia's father.
Okay, so 752 is going.
Is she going for the grand prize?
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, that's one ring successfully put up there.
All right. And okay, 672 plus what's her next roll? 78 for a grand total of 750.
Ooh,
Number is a very beautiful number.
that's 2 on the top, and it's already got the clerk's attention. Ooh.
All right. All right, her next roll is a grand total of 714.
Oh.
That's also a win.
It's got a lot of dexterity to work with here.
I think she's got more than Fiona.
Yep. Oh, she might. 2 plus 60, that's good. So 732.
That's 4. Just 1 more.
Ooh. I'm sure she has the clerk's
Even-
attention fully.
Even he's not upset or anything. He's just, come on, 1 more, 1 more.
He's excited.
Because he's legitimately interested in this. He's not here just to take money. He wants people to have a good time.
So her
One more.
last roll is 729.
That's when a time slows down moment and you watch it just go up, and you can see it gently crest over the top of the peg, like it's gonna skate and bounce, but then it gets snagged as it almost slides over, and it lands there. And there's a yeah,
Fionn. Yeah!
woo, and then Mons turns around, woo, what are you
Beatrice won the grand prize.
woo?
Woo!
And so she's going to be grinning
I like-
from ear to ear and bouncing up and down.
I like how the woo's set off and just does this. Everyone, for just because everyone's in good spirits, just woo! Just like a fucking wave of woos goes through the street.
Oh no, they've started a howl.
I was about to say something.
It's astonishing, really. Like, it's kind of fascinating. You can see nobles who are in there. There are some who are being the stuck-up nobles that are just not having fun in the streets. But it's just fascinating to see how brought down to earth this country is at times. That even these people who are of a higher status in society are actively involved in something that the annoying kinds that we don't like would call, commoner stuff. Because that's one of the people who wooed, who somebody's like, he's only like 12 feet away, but he went, woo! When he's seen you win. All dressed in his fancy ass clothes, bracelets and necklace a jangling. And then his compatriot, another nobleman, has no idea, but just he takes a minute to stop drinking his drink, as foamy and delicious as that liquor is, and just woo! And they all collectively throw their arms up as they do it.
These guys get it.
Woo!
Woo! Woo! Oh no, my ale!
Woo, and you splash the person behind you.
Yeah. Hurrahs! Okay, hold on. And they'll get there. They're already sitting on like a little step stool, and they'll grab a little step ladder specifically meant to go on top of this, lock it in place, and then climb up on top of it to get to the top shelf.
They're putting a step stool on a step stool.
But their strength is impressive because they grab this box that's about 5 feet long with a one hand and just kind of hop down and land on the counter away from all the goods. And then hop back down and then set it on the main counter in front of you. Woo! 5 in a row. And just like it's like a kid just high five.
And she will give him a high five. Very excited.
Good job. Very proud of you. Enjoy.
And does it have like any fancy clasps or anything, or is it just a box?
It is a very pretty box. It is made of that same beautiful purple wood, and it has a gold engraving kind of at a half of the, like where the I guess you could say the edges of the box are, about a quarter of an inch inward. It's got a little groove that's carved out, and that groove is inlaid with gold halfway. And then Crimsonite, the other half, and they meet up in like a perfect half and half, and it has the crest of the royal family on it as proof that this is from the Royal Forge Master.
So she'll give it a long ooh as she looks at the box, and then she's going to very slowly and carefully.
Yeah, hold on now. Hold on. And they'll reach underneath the counter and pull out a little lockbox and then pull out a key and open the lockbox and then reach in and grab another key and set it on your box. There you go. Because it does have 2 clasps, but those clasps are neatly shut and locked by some sort of bar or something inside there.
Okay, so she's going to basically take the key and ceremoniously unlock all the mechanisms so that she can open up the box and see what's inside.
Ah, yes. As you push that key in there and you can hear the slow turn. It takes force too. That's how you know that this is there's maybe only one legendary figure that could lockpick it, mind you, but they're definitely not here. But there's no way you could just rake this because you can feel the resistance, and that key itself is about as thick as your pinky almost, and takes a little bit of force to turn those actually physically turn those tumblers, and you can hear that a little chunk of the metal unlocking, letting you pop the class open. As you slowly open it, you do notice that the entire inside is also lined, but when you open it, you can see there's wood, then there's a thin, albeit probably fairly durable, layer of gold with some sort of steel, and then there's the inlay of that beautiful golden cloth. And
Ooh.
on the inside of this box, there lies possibly one of the most fancy and intricate and just ornately designed some sort of short sword.
Ooh.
That same regal aesthetic that the Empire likes to have. It has a what is it? So it's got a I believe the word is no. It's like a fully constructed short sword. The sheath itself has a sort of that same cream color to it, but it's got the 3 streaks along. This is both on the all. This is technically like running vertically up along it. There's the streak of gold, of crimson, and of purple, and that's just for the sheath, and all the metal bits of the sheath are also golden, and the handle of the whole thing is sort of a spiraled design. Well, it's mind you, it's just visually like it's material. The actual handle itself isn't spiral, but whatever they use to inlay the handle or whatever they use to make the handle, they made it so one is crimson and one is purple, keeping with the aesthetic. And even the little end of it right there where that butt is, what is it called? The pommel is this beautiful polished silver that has a little Pantheris figure on it, which is the sort of the Pantheris, mind you, is like the wolf lion creature that the royal family has as their crest. You've got an ornate and beautiful looking sword.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And so she's going to just kind of peek under the sheet and see what that looks like. 'Cause she's very
Yeah.
curious to see what color the blade is. Why are my
Uh,
glasses smudged?
You do unsheathe the blade, and it is a white steel. And just sin, just. Oh. And the blade itself does have some engravings on it that seem to just be, when inspected closer and you're able to read them, they God, that itches. Okay. Is it well, it's more like an etching. That's right, the blade is etched here. Very meticulously etched to have a sentence along the fuller of the blade that runs the full length of it, and it sounds familiar, but you're not sure where it's from. But what it reads is, on one side you read, his hope was the blade that cut through our restraint. And when you flip it over, you can read, and now this blade shall guard his hope against all those that would once again sheathe his hope.
Is it? And now this blade shall guard his hope.
Yes. Against all those who would once again sheathe his hope.
His folk or hope?
His folk, as in peoples. Because folk can colloquially be used to express people or a,
I just
kin.
wanted to make sure I heard it right.
You heard it correctly. Anytime I can turn the music off, I don't mind it.
I don't
No,
mind.
It wasn't really the music. It was just, speaking online and stuff.
The
Kinda,
curse of voice over internet protocol.
yes. And my drink is empty.
Yeah, the only thing I
Oh,
own that's
no.
on the Wi-Fi is my computer. Just to be safe. The curse of video games. There's always just that one song, and it keeps going. It changes per area.
That's racist.
All right. All right. So it's got. You said the sheath is. Yeah. There's the hair in my mouth. Yeah.
Oh no.
Trying to get this hair out of my mouth so I can speak properly. All right. So you said the sheath was the real colors of purple and red with gold.
Yes. So look at it like this. There is purple and red on either side of the golden streak that runs up the sheath. That looks like it basically is designed to look like it flows into the metalwork of the sheath. And the majority of the color that's all on is that same cream colored white, like the stone that was in the palace. There is some history to the engraving or the etchings on that blade if you ask the right person.
It does sound like it's a reference to the first emperor.
Well, not the first emperor, technically. That's a good guess, though.
So I suppose she could ask the reference to Rosenforth or whatever.
Yeah, you get the name right. Well, it's debated if it's a reference to Rosenforth, the first emperor, or Geraldus, the first king, both of whom fought similar battles against those that they considered family. That's another tale, though. Ever you want to hear about Geraldus, ask a scholar. One working at one of the colleges, perhaps. Oh my god, that's right. Holy shit, that just my own dialogue just reminded me of something. Okay. Good to know, though. Good to know, brain. Thank you. Pat, pat. Alright. While they do that, I'll have to get the rest of the information then. Fionn! What is Fionn gonna go for?
Well, Fionn is going for the jewelry.
Hooray!
Yes. And he's gonna use, and he did pay a gold. So what? Does he get 10 rings, or does he get 5 at a time?
5 at a time, but he has
Okay.
10 rings.
Okay. Well. Oh, excuse me. The first 5 rings he's gonna use. He's going for the jewelry. Let's see. First roll is 324.
That's 1! That's 1 that landed on the jewelry pegs.
Woo! Next roll. 369.
Yeah, it's 2 successful ones.
84. Okay. 365 is next.
Yeah, it's 3.
And next is 356.
That one landed on the stuffed animals one.
Next is that's not it. Next is 310.
That one so landed on the stuffed animal ring.
Uh,
It's okay though. They do tell you that you have won anything from this jewelry shelf down.
Fiona. I like those cerulean earrings.
There's not cerulean earrings.
No, I thought. What was
No. The
what was the
bracelet.
red ones?
The red ones are Crimsonite.
Crimsonite. That's what I was looking for. I don't know why I was Crimsonite. Yeah, I like those Crimsonite earrings.
It's worth noting, Ilvamaran earrings in this current style, they actually pierce the upper part of your ear and
Oh, neat. Fionn will go with the earrings.
Oh,
Thank you. And didn't you say there was like little mystery boxes at the bottom?
there are.
With his next 5 rings, he's gonna go for a mystery box.
Give me the roll.
Give you the roll. 304 is the first roll.
That's a success. You know, I'm gonna save you some time. Based off of how this game is structured, you would probably go ahead and just get all 5 of those in a row.
Yeah.
Yep. Any price here you want. Well, you can have up to 3 prices on the bottom.
And what are they? Just random boxes? Stuff
We've
in?
got random little puzzle boxes that are said to have treasure of their own in them. You've got some nice little kitchen utensils and stuff. You have little nice pieces of like, what is it? What is the technical word? You know, I can't remember the word. There's picture frames too. There's like little celebratory, I guess you could say, goods. You know, they have little crescent whistle instrument. They have one of those. They have what looks like a little simple toy that one can just play with that involves a string and a winding, like it's sort of like a pulley string with a little winding case at the end of a little stick that does something for one's amusement. So you don't know what. Then you've got the little quill and inkwell. And there seems to be what looks like a little neatly rolled map here. There's even some just nice little books that might be underappreciated by some, but people that like to read would enjoy them. And still something that was generated here. Hell, there's just mostly a nice little assorted play good. That's not bad.
Yeah, well.
And of course, there's some small fireworks.
Fionn would definitely get one of the little puzzle boxes. And the little assorted celebratory goods. He only wants the 2 things.
That's what you wanted. That's what you got.
Yep. Awesome. Alright, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Fionn would gather up his earrings and the little box and stuffs. Alright. So, where's your next friends?
Got another couple of notifications on my phone for some reason. Okay. Ah, damn it. Well, I mean, we can.
We
We can
going if you guys are okay with it.
It's up to you.
I don't
We
got
can go for a
anything
little bit
tomorrow.
longer.
I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
I can go for a little bit longer. I've still got to work in the morning.
Well, you've won this ring toss. Oh, by the way, you can hear them explaining to someone else who comes up after your little group. It's simple. How the game works. 5 rings. You choose which prize you want. You tell me which shelf you want to aim for. You have to get a majority of the rings you toss onto those pegs. And you can win from that shelf and anything below it. If you aim for the jewelry, you can get 1 piece of jewelry, 2 stuffed animals, or 3 prizes from the bottom. But if you win a shelf at the below, you can only get a certain amount. If you win the stuffed animals, it's 1 stuffed animal, 2 assorted goods. Oh. And if you want a grand prize, which ours was won by young Miss over there, you would have to get all 5 in a row. Sadly, we're out of a grand prize. There's only 1.
I think Fionn would. He'd put the little. For now, he'd put the earrings in his inventory until he can get the tops of his ear pierced for him. And he's gonna try and open that puzzle box.
That's going to take a while.
Fionn, I know I shouldn't be doing this because last time I opened the puzzle box, I had a little bug bite me in the hand and start draining me. But, I'm a gambler like that, I guess. Kinda like me ma.
Woo! Woo!
Fionn, woo!
Some more celebrations going on. Somebody else winning a nice big prize.
Yep, it's just in the distance. Woo!
I don't know about you. I think I need a drink. For all this excitement.
Well, children, if you want to drink alcohol, you have to drink responsibly.
Aye, yes, sir.
Yon, would you like to stay here with Faraji and Bonnie while they play, or do you want me to stay and you take them to find alcohol?
I'll stay with Faraji and Bonnie.
Okay, dokie.
Fionn, alright.
Marianne, come dear. And Mons' wife will just return to climbing up his back, where she just hangs off of his shoulders.
Fionn would follow along. Fion's just following while he's fiddling with his puzzle box.
I'm constantly vibing with this music. I don't know why. I'm just gonna keep listening to this like the rest of the night. Holy shit. I love it. It's just, why is it so good?
It just is.
Oh. Alcohol. So that's gonna take you out to the intersection, down a ways to the right, and then back down the street to the right again, where all the concessions are.
And here's where the price gouging begins. No, I'm kidding.
There's all kinds of stuff here. But amongst some of them, as Shadow or fucking Dedicated, as Fion's
Fionn.
walking by one of these
Mhm.
stands, you feel a familiar cold gaze staring at you.
Oh my.
Fion's gonna kind of stop in his tracks and look over to see if he can see who's gazing at him.
You can see Sketchy staring at you.
Sketchy?
Sketchy. That same
Oh.
silent dark elf. And they're currently standing there menacingly behind a grill with their large ass gauntlet weapon out, holding skewered meats over a fire.
Ooh.
And they have on an apron.
Fionn would give a wave to them.
And it's actually a little food stall that's run by the guild, and another one of that infernal shall come around and hello.
Fionn, oh, hello there. He would walk over to the stall.
It's like just they got their little tent set up, keep them out of the elements, and as you spice. And that's just Sketchy's cooking the meats on those big ass sharp blade fucking fingers of their gauntlet. And the Inferno she'll look over and just reach over with a plate to catch them as they slowly but surely fall off of those razor sharp blades and onto the plate.
Oh, that smells good.
And they'll set it down on the counter. Could you really swap gauntlets? And they will begrudgingly swap from the I'm gonna slice you to ribbons kind of style of gauntlets to the I'm gonna poke you kind of style of gauntlet where all their fingers just look like extremely frighteningly fucking long stabby bits. They're perfectly
Ooh.
straight little puncture wound inducing pieces of hardened metal.
Mm.
Perfect spikes.
I wasn't expecting to
You're
say the bell down here.
skewers.
And that's how they're cooking the meats, is they'll skewer like they will skewer like turkey legs, bone and all, with one steak, pork, wildebeest, and then fish. And they will dip them in separate bowls of separate sauces after rinsing them off in separate little sinks. And then let them just hold over that fire and let those juices drip all over, making this concoction, this aroma of vibrant spice.
Alright, so you got me. How much?
Well, that depends on what you want. Yeah, you know.
Alright, well, how much for some fish?
But if you want the fish, 5 silver for 1 piece, 10 for 2, but 1 gold will get you 3 pieces and 1 treat.
Ooh. What you got to drink?
Water, tea, tea, and then alcohol.
Ooh. It's a nice tall glass of ale.
Well, it's not it, but it's definitely something, mate. Definitely something. Don't worry.
Alright. Well, you know what? He's gonna hand over a gold. I'm a little hungry.
And guess she'll walk over to an empty plate that they set down, and they'll push 3 slices of searing hot fish off onto the plate, and they'll grab a little thing and drizzle some sort of oil over it, and then put a little bit of a rice medley on the plate with you. And then they'll scoop up just a cup full of ice from a little chest they have, and then use the little spigot on one of the barrels to fill it full of liquor.
Thank you very much. Once he was given those, he's gonna go find a place, see if there's a table or at least a seat somewhere to sit down.
There's a very open sitting area about 150 yards away where the open air theater that can connect the 2 streets is.
Fion's gonna take a seat to eat his food and drink.
Mons will make sure that somebody follows him so he doesn't get lost.
Who's gonna follow him?
Begrudgingly, Sin. Idiot.
Going, well,
I suppose it would help if I muted, wouldn't it?
It might.
yeah.
The Beatrice will follow also.
But does nobody else want food or drink?
I
Okay.
think Beatrice actually would enjoy some food now. I think about it.
Think
How much is the Wilgit? Was that the right word, or was it
Wilgit.
Wildebeest.
Wilbeast?
I mean,
Yeah. Wilgits is one you don't want to eat.
not unless it's prepared by an extremely talented chef who knows exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, the Wildebeest.
But that's the thing. All plates are the same price.
Well, I think
You don't-
Beatrice would be interested in having some of the Wildebeest.
It's worth mentioning. All plates are going to come with your choice of 3 meats and a rice medley. Quite delicious, if I do say so myself. Very interesting. This Infernal sounds Australian.
Because he's from a place down under.
That's not meant to be the joke, but the dice are like, no, fuck you. That's the joke with this one. They're down under. Anyways, here you go. There's that. And to drink, we have water, 5 teas, and pineapple lemonade ale.
You know what? That sounds good. I think I'll have
Which
some of
one?
that.
Pineapple lemonade ale?
Yes.
Yes, and then they'll come over and do the same thing. They'll set one of those spikes down on the empty plate and use their fingers to push off those 3 slices of wildebeest, and they'll pour a little oil over it too, and then scoop out some of the rice medley that they've got sitting there just simmering in a pot, and then they'll walk away as the Infernal comes over with a ice cold glass of that pineapple lemonade liquor.
That does sound really good.
Well, there's a line forming behind, your little group. This is very popular.
How much did you say this was again?
This is 1 gold.
Okie dokie. She is willing to pay that. Very willing. For tasty snacks.
And they're not the only thing to eat, mind you, but hey, it's technically your people's. It's the guild.
Oh, something I forgot to ask earlier on that sword is the stack
I'll get the
shape.
stat. Oh, the stack shape is going to be 16.
16. Okay. I figured we could get the stats and stuff later. I just wanted to have that part filled in. Okie dokie. So she's going to go and sit with Fionn.
So how spicy is the fish?
Are spicy.
I think I had remembered rolling for it before and found out that Yon is not big on spice, but Beatrice loves it.
Yeah.
She gets that from her mom.
Yeah, I can definitely see Gloria liking spicy stuff,
Yeah. Gloria likes spicy stuff because it goes great with liquor.
and I can see her introducing Beatrice to spicy stuff early on, and Beatrice uh, basically growing accustomed to it and loving it.
And also liquor at the same time. That was the only time Gloria would let Beatrice drink liquor when she was underage, was when there was a spicy meal involved. Oh no, my comfort. No! Blanket, return to master! I kicked it when I moved and shifted and it fell.
You're like, come back to me.
Alright. Does Nabai want spice or would they like to browse the other stalls for liquor?
I think Nabai will have filled up at the dinner before we left.
Some people just come here and eat. There are several people who nitpicked at their foods so they'd have an excuse to eat here.
I think Nabai will just entertain themselves by talking to the people they're sat with.
Well, if Nabai follows Mons, he's going to sit with his wife at their own table to give Beatrice and Fionn and Sin little time to talk amongst themselves. But it is worth noting that another table off to the other side of the two of your tables is where Faramia and Mob are just sitting there, and then her parents are at another table, also within range. It's like this little zigzag of you guys.
Hmm. Fionn would just kind of wave to them as he ate his fish.
Beatrice is going to be munching happily. She has a little bit more of an appetite than she used to, after all.
Sin even got a plate and just sat it there beside Beatrice because he could see their hunger. It's like getting extra fries when they say they don't want fries. And all he wanted was a single abused turkey leg.
Abused turkey leg.
Well, it's abused because when he sits down and bites into it, it kind of breaks in half from the fact that Skeshy punctured through it when she skewered the turkey legs. I just love how she still has that resting bitch face while seeing you guys. Or the resting bitch stare because you can't see her face because it's covered up. Resting bitch stare.
Mhm.
Hey, you can see the main band now that's on the theater stage. They're the
Ooh.
ones who are really playing. Actually, the whole reason that they're playing is there's a whole ass fucking play going on there. Rather, the ass end of the play.
I see. I gotta stop sitting on my feet. I'm putting them to
Alternatively,
sleep.
alternatively do. My stomach. It's a very calm. Alright. Is Naive gonna sit with Mons though and be a fangirl?
Yes, Naibai is being a fangirl.
Okay. What is Naive asking?
Um,
Ask him. You know, be you. Ask him.
well, I gotta think of a question. Naibai wouldn't want to bring up the, you know, court proceedings and all of the involved things with that.
Alright, that's gonna stop the music there because they're act of the play that's gonna go on. Harg! Well, take thy time.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm going to grab myself a real drink.
I'm actually gonna head to bed. I'm starting to get a headache.
Okay.
Well, good night.
Okay, have a good sleep. Oh,
Good night, friends.
I think Naibai is going to ask how fast Mons can run. And then after he answers her, going to ask if her how to go that fast, or if he knows anyone that could.
Well, there's not really anybody that can ever run as fast as I can, say for Bonnie. One day, Therio would always keep. And, some people. But I do know people who could teach you how to run obscenely fast. There is, a very, very young adventurer. But, I say young. He's young by my standards. You see, I'm an elderly gentleman by comparison to a 31-year-old man. But he is possibly the only person ever to have the ability to move as fast as I can. Though when I run, I don't keep running a lot of the time. See, I can run quickly, but because of my size, I can't run obscene speeds just by staying in motion, like by locomotion. But what I can do is sprint and use my immense strength to propel myself at exorbitant speeds.
Oh, I see. But how do you stay close to the ground if you're pushing that hard?
Well, it takes a lot of practice, but it's about lowering my center of gravity enough. That way, when I push off the ground, I elevate
but I don't ascend to too much of a degree that I lose the ability to restabilize as I land.
Sounds tricky.
It took quite a while to learn. I spent years fully adapting to my strength. A lot of my strengths I wasn't born with, mind you. I had to learn them. I was never this big. This was never me. This is what I am now. But I was as small as you like, even when I was a boy or a young man. I wasn't very large. I was frail. I was malnourished and weak. It was through circumstance that I became as immense as I am. Yeah.
I don't think I've heard any stories about how you got to be the way you are.
That's because the only ones who know I got this large are my dear wife here.
And he'll give her a pat on the back of her hand.
Well, several of my close friends, and whom were the parents of many of those delightful children over there. But long ago, in a very distant world, we'll call it, a place far removed from here, I was but a humble boy living with a family of farmers in a little tiny island known as Sicilia. And we, one of many territories of an enormous and vast and powerful empire. That name's horror really similar to here. You see, the Ilva Romana. The language probably means more another thing here, but it reminds me of home. That's why I like this being Ilvamar for myself. But Rome was the name of my country. Rome was a beautiful place to live. Uh, well, by the time I was an adult, it was. Though it had gone through hardships. It was once an empire, and it collapsed, and only became a vast empire again when a new leader, an ambitious man that we only knew as the Emperor, had taken over the whole thing. And he had created, essentially, a shield for the country he had called Imperius. They were interesting people. But whilst I was a boy living on Sicilia, one day, gentlemen came to the house, large soldiers, very solid stock of men. They came with another man, a learned man, whom would come to change my life. They came and they had offered to take me off of my family's hands. Of course, my mother was against that for some time. Always was, should I say. My father, he was not what I would call a contrite or friendly person. Despite me being his son, he didn't care for me, because I was the only son of my mother, his real wife. I wasn't good enough, though. My mother produced a frail child in his eyes, but his, well, I've come to accept what she was. His whore of a mistress gave him 3 sturdy elves. So he's more than happy to rid the family of me. Eventually, he actually sold me to Rome, more correctly to Imperius. And my youthful self, malnourished, weak, and ill with beyond my understanding, with things at the time I didn't know in were not my fault. I was just weak, but I was explained by this learned man that they were what he called disease, and I came to know what disease is in time. But at the time, I didn't know what disease truly was. I knew it was a lack of ease of life. It made sense. It's a very apt name, disease. Um, this learned man, his name, he is where I get my last name. His name was Noctis, or Noxus, or Noxia, depending on who you ask. But it was just father to me for most the everything. But Noxus Orpes, Night Fox in our language. That is all he was ever given as a name. At least that's all I had ever heard. He did things to me. He fixed me in words. He changed me. He subjected me to horrible things, admittedly, and I did hate him for a time. He changed me. Every bit of me he'd altered. My bones, he had splayed me open like peeled watermelon when I was a boy. And he had done things to me. He had altered my very skeleton, carved things into the deepest parts of my body, and engraved his handiwork on me and bestowed upon me something. He had imbibed me with gifts, he called them, which at the time I was just spiteful. But when he was done with me, with cutting me open and apart and sewing me back together, I had changed. I began to feel more invigorated. I grew. Rory, I used to not sound like this. I sounded much more weak. There was no depth. I didn't have any base. I didn't have anything to determine that I was of masculinity or something. Well, I sounded very girlish at times because I was just a frail young man. But when he was done, I had grown several times over. I had put on weight that was once lost to me. I was able to move without becoming exhausted. I could breathe. The sun didn't hurt my eyes. I didn't burn like crispy paper anymore when I was out too long doing labor. And most importantly, I stopped being weak and things that I couldn't lift, even if it meant the death of all things living. If I didn't, I just could not. Those things I could do now. I could pick up entire benches made of steel and wood with but one hand, and I could only continue. And by the time I knew it, I was this beast, the mountain. They thus gave me Mons as my name, and I became what I am. And Orpheus, the fox, he had become, over time, a father to me. He was my handler first, and I still held a grudge. But for nearly 15 almost 16 years, he had guided me. I had been used to do things, it's true, and I have done many of things over that period. But by the end of it, I realized that he had come to have his own thoughts of regret of what he did, and we had even eventually talked that whole thing out about my uh, my enslavement by some standards, and he explained that he fully understood what he was doing was objectively wrong, not subjectively. But he was an ambitious young man. He had hopes of his own. He wanted to make a legacy, and he was young himself. When myself, at the crisp age of 15, was being subjected to this, Volpe was only 25 years old, barely a decade older than I, and he had the power to do something for the Emperor, to change and to create me, a whole new monster. But he never let me be one. That is why I ultimately respected him, and I truly seen that he was more of a father to me than my own father was. Despite all of the changes to my physicality, the massive strength, my regeneration, and my nigh indestructibility at times, and my resilience to so much, he never once took my personality from me. He never did anything to my mind to rob me of my heart. He kept that the same, and I thank him for that to this day. Because without him having understood that, who having not decided to do what he did, I may have just been a monster. But I wasn't, and he didn't let that happen. He chose to defy his own lords and rulers, his own monsters, and he made it so only he could ever make me. He never shared those secrets, so they could never take me away. And that is how I became me, through the graces and the ambitions of my father.
Wow. They, they must have really loved you.
Yeah, he honestly did, and I loved him because he taught me so many things that I never learned. In 15 years of Cecilia, he taught me to read, write, how to properly speak, how to cook and clean. But the most important thing he taught me was to forgive, but not for his sake. He was fine with being uh, an enemy. He was okay with me hating him. He wanted me to learn to forgive for my sake, so I didn't make a mistake that he said he did at some point in his life and let his vengefulness eat away at him. And he taught me how to love above all else. Because it was probably the greatest thing that I think anyone can ever do for another person. To teach them how to love someone. Even if they're a giant behemoth of muscle and magic combined.
You're more than that.
I am. And that's another thing that he did teach me in those last few months of our time together. That just because I'm this that people see, it doesn't mean that's what I am. I'm a sculptor. I'm a painter.
You're an inspiration to thousands, millions even.
But I'm a father above all else in that regard. And I'm me. And that's something I can live with. Is being me. Oh no, I did. Oh well.
You filled up like an entire half-hour block of Mon's backstory.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I get it. He's your favorite character.
I wouldn't say he's my favorite, but who doesn't love Mons?
My bladder.
Well, you can go pee if you want into there. I mean, that way you don't pee all over yourself.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
I mean, I don't want you peeing all over yourself, but listen, if that's what you're into, go for it. But
No, it's
take
not. Take a shower.
Say,
Gosh.
take a shower before you get in bed with me. If you're gonna do that, though, and if you do it while you're in bed with me, guess who's sleeping on the porch? I've done that too. I've done it to somebody else's dog that I was watching. It peed on my bed. They came over like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, well, the reason your dog's on the porch because it peed on my bed. Your dog from your house was at my house and peed on
Your
my
dog
bed
from you people. All right,
So,
I'm gonna bathroom break.
we'll just go ahead and end it here so I can go take some more eye drops. There. Yes, there. Now everybody knows Mons.
I suppose since we have a moment, we can finish filling out the information on that thingy.
Not thingy. There's
The
a lot of
sword.
thingy. Oh, that? No, I'm gonna have to like do that tomorrow. I have to sit down and compare it to the other ones that you might run into. And so I already know what their minimum rating will of stats will be. But I want to roll for like additional stuff. Like what maybe additional scaling or does it have different effects or what have it.
Also, yes, sorry for all the obnoxious hammering noises earlier.
That's okay. That hammering was just for you putting Ivy into the headboard.
Oh, what did I come back to?
Oh, we were just talking about how the hammering that we were hearing earlier was just for you putting Ivy into the headboard.
They fucking holes in the wall again.
Yeah, that's Daddy Fox. He's always fucking holes.